Chanuka is different from the Shalosh Regalim. Shalosh Regalim, you can't fulfill in their fullness, in their shleimus. We're just doing a fraction, a fragment of what the real Yontif is. We don't have the karbanos, we can't be Ola Regel. But Chanukah, the Sfas Emes points out, we are observing it b'shleimus with the full completion. This is the full Chanukah we're able to do. Same way they'll do it in the Beis HaMikdash, the same way they'll do it when there's the Geula, the same way they do it in Eretz Yisrael. So we have a special connection to Chanukah. And more on the regalim, you have to be oila regel, chayav adam letaher atzma regel, you have to purify yourself to be able to rise up to that level, to be able to access it, which we don't have in the Churban, in the Golus. But Chanukah, it's where you are, the Kedusha comes. Like we mentioned before, the Sfas Emes says, Psilas v'shamanim, the Gemara tells them about Madlikin, that the wicks and the oils, the nefesh is the ner psilo shemen, shemadlikin, she'amru chachamim madlikin ben b'chanukah, that the chacham said, I'm sorry, that ein madlikin, that you can't light on Shabbos because they sputter. And so on Shabbos, there's a concern you're going to tip it since you can benefit from the light, and it could be a problem of kibui. And biur, burning, you're burning the fire, you're putting out some of the fire when you tip it, but on Chanukah you could because you can't benefit from the light anyway, and even if it goes out, it's ein zakokla. But the Sfas Emes says the remez is that the psilas v'shamanim, the nefesh, the ner psilo shemen, that is not ignited through Shabbos or through Yontif, through these yamim tovim that come, these special days that come mimayla lamata, from misarusa de la'ela, from on high, madlikin ben b'chanukah. When it comes to Chanukah, that you could still have a shaychus, you still have a connection to it, you could still, where you are, as you are, you will be able to be inspired and feel that connection to Chanukah. And the reason is because Chanukah is coming from us. It's not a nace that happened from Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. Hashem, those days are days that come from Hashem. Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. Hashem gave us the Torah. Hashem put us into the Sukkos. And so that's why we don't say V'hinoyam, because Ma'aseh Yodeinu is suspended when it's the Shalosh Regalim. It's not a time of Ma'aseh Yodeinu, it's just Hashem's acting upon us. Opposed to Chanukah and Purim, we say V'hinoyam because it's Ma'aseh Yodeinu, it's the miracles that we brought about. Chashmonaim came, Mordechai and Esther, they came, they were mechanech, the bias once again. And from that, miracles followed, endorsing their actions. It's Ma'aseh Yodeinu. And we see in some of the lumdus and the sugyas of Chanukah support for this concept. The Shloach HaKadosh brought in Magen Avram in Hilchos Purim says that when you have, say, the bracha of Shechionu, when reading the Megillah, you should have in mind all the other mitzvahs hayom. And if you look at the Shloach, he says, even in the bracha of Al Mikra Megillah, you should have in mind for the other mitzvahs of the day, for Matanos Lavyonim, for Mishlach Manos, for the Suda. And the question is, that seems strange. So Samad Nazach, how do you have Kavana for the other mitzvahs hayom during the Mikra Megillah bracha? Next question is Rav Amram Gaon, brought in Hagoyis Maimoni in Hilchos Megillah, says that Ma'ariv on the first night of Purim, if you have not yet read the Megillah, you should not say Al Nisim. The question is, what do you mean? Al Nisim is Me'ein HaMa'ora. You always insert something into the Shemona Esrei to reflect the special day, the Yontif. If it's a Yontif of Purim, you should say Al Nisim. What does it matter whether you've read the Megillah? So Rabbi Rosenbaum from Ner Yisrael, Rav Kalevsky's son-in-law, says you see from these two things that when it comes to Purim, it's different than a regular Yontif. It's not that there's be'etzem a Yontif, and because there's a Yontif, there's mitzvahs of the day. But it's that you doing the mitzvah of the day, you reading the Megillah is what shtel zavek, is what makes it a Yontif. So yes, it's appropriate to say that during the bracha of Al Mikra Megillah, you have in mind the other mitzvahs, because by reading the Megillah, you are making this into Purim. And there's no Al Nisim if you haven't yet read the Megillah. Because if you haven't read the Megillah, it's not Purim yet. That's what makes it into Purim. And says Rabbi Rosenbaum that when the Rambam writes in Hilchos Chanukah, that the hadlakas neiros bohen is a mitzvah midivrei soifrim. Kikriyas HaMegillah. Why does the Rambam need to give us a dugma? Why does he need to give us a metaphor? Just say it's a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. What is he saying? That the mitzvah of Chanukah is like Purim, like Mikra Megillah? He's saying the same prat, that in Chanukah too, it's not Chanukah until you light the neiros. And he wants to say that according to the Rambam, halacha l'maisa, according to the Rambam, the first night, Ma'ariv, you should not say Al Anisim if you didn't yet light the menorah. We don't pass in that way, but l'maisa, we all light in shul anyway before the menorah. But he's saying that it's the Hadlakas Neiros every year that turns it into Chanukah, which stems very well, very consistent with the Sfas Emes is saying that the Chanukah and Purim, these are different types of Yom Tovim because they're all about Ma'aseh Yodeinu. They are the nace that we brought about. It's not the Torah Shebiksav from heaven being given down, but it's the Torah Shebal Peh that we brought about, that we brought up. And according to Rabbi Rosenbaum's Vart, that applies every year. That our Mikra Megillah and our Hadlakas Neiros is what makes the Chanukah, is what brings the Chanukah. Which is an empowering concept when we're in the dark winter, to know that our actions can bring about Kedusha, can bring about Nisim. You just have to light it. Kavsa in Zakakla, my Chavrusa, Rabbi Dreyfus, was saying, Kavsa in Zakakla means you have to start. Don't think that all this talk about Ma'aseh Yodeinu, that you have to do the whole job yourself. We have a balance between Mitachan and Ishtadlus. And all you have to do is light it. If it goes out, it's okay. Hashem will take care of the rest. You just have to light it. As long as you light it, that's all they did. They just lit it. They didn't know what was going to happen. And the Nisim happened. For Zois Chanukah specifically, there's some Ramazim that we heard. Shem de B'nai Yisachar. Parashas Vayelech is 30 psukim. Parashas Nitzavim is 40 psukim. Parashas Azim is 52 psukim. 30 days, Tzadikim Gemurim are signed and sealed. 30 days from Rosh Hashanah on Rosh Hashanah. 40 days, the Beinanim on Yom Kippur. 52 days on Hoshana Rabbah. And if you add them all together, it's 122. 4 months, Elul, Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev. In 2 days, Zayis Chanukah. And then the pasuk says, V'zayis habracha, Zayis Chanukah, Ki mineged tires haaretz, V'sham alei sova, you can see them, but you can't touch the lights. And we've said over from the Trisker Magid, the Nasi that we read today, Yom Hashmini, is Menashe, Neshama. Same letter says Neshama, Gamliel, Gamlikel. I also have a chelek in Hashem. And the Arizal says that Chanukah is the yontif of Bitachon. I believe b'shem the Arizal. And the shame of Bitachon is Ad Bitchu b'Hashem Adei Ad, 74 days from Kippur until Chanukah. That before Midas Adin of Elokim, the Oisiyah is Kaidmus of Elokim. You have the Bitachon. So Chanukah is a time of Bitachon. It's a time when we recognize the balance between Bitachon and Nishtadlus. We recognize our koichos, our power, our capacity to bring about miracles, and to recognize that we don't need to do the whole thing. We just have to start. If we do that, we should all be zoicha to see tremendous nisim and the geula shleima from here to